11 Reasons Why Leo Drives People Crazy. Leos, known for their fiery personalities and innate charisma, are often the center of attention wherever they go. But while their boldness and confidence can be magnetic, they can also drive people crazy. The Leo personality is one of extremes. On the one hand, they're admired for their leadership, their passion, and their unwavering belief in themselves. But on the other hand, their strong desire to be admired, their need for constant attention, and their tendency to push others aside in pursuit of their own spotlight can create frustration for those around them. In this video, we'll dive into 11 reasons why Leo is one of the most challenging signs to deal with. From their over-the-top confidence to their unrelenting need for admiration, we'll explore the traits that make Leos both captivating and, at times, incredibly difficult to handle. If you've ever wondered why Leos have such a polarizing reputation, stick around as we break down these reasons in more detail. 1. Over-the-top confidence. One of the first things you'll notice about a Leo is their unwavering confidence. Leos walk into a room like they own it, exuding an energy that demands attention. While this can be impressive and inspiring in some contexts, it can also come off as overbearing or, in some cases, arrogant. Leos truly believe in their abilities, and this self-assurance often borders on the extreme. They think they're the best at what they do, and they're not afraid to show it, whether it's at work, in their social lives, or even in their relationships. This constant display of confidence can be frustrating for others who may feel overshadowed or undervalued. Their strong belief in themselves sometimes leads them to disregard the thoughts, opinions, or contributions of others, as they often assume their own perspective is the only valid one. This over-the-top confidence can alienate those around them, especially when they act as though they're always right or the center of attention. People who prefer humility or a more understated approach can feel uncomfortable around a Leo's larger-than-life personality, making it one of the key reasons why they drive people crazy. 2. Constant need for attention. Leos thrive on attention. They are often at their best when they are the focal point of any situation, whether in social settings or professional environments. This constant need for admiration and praise is embedded in their core, and they will go to great lengths to ensure they remain in the spotlight. While some may call it self-assurance, others find it draining and overbearing. Leos often feel incomplete without the validation they crave from others, and if they're not getting the recognition they desire, they can become moody or withdrawn. Whether it's telling a story, making a grand entrance, or simply being present in a room, Leos expect all eyes on them. This can cause frustration for those around them who may not share the same need for attention, leaving them feeling sidelined or ignored. In relationships, this can be especially challenging, as Leos may unintentionally dominate conversations or events, leaving their partners or friends feeling unnoticed or unimportant. The constant need to be admired often takes priority over truly connecting with others on a deeper level. This can make interactions with Leos feel one-sided, as they expect others to continually shower them with attention and praise. 3. Drama queen/king tendencies. Leos have an innate flair for the dramatic. It's not that they intentionally stir up trouble, but they often create drama where none exists simply because they crave excitement, and their emotional intensity is hard to contain. Whether it's a small disagreement or a personal issue, Leos tend to make things bigger than they are, turning them into grand events. They have a knack for adding an extra layer of emotion, which can cause situations to escalate unnecessarily. This love for drama is often tied to their need for validation. By making things more dramatic, they capture the attention they desire. However, this tendency can be exhausting for those around them who may just want to avoid unnecessary conflict. Friends and family often find themselves caught up in Leo's world of ups and downs, where their emotional reactions are larger than life. This can make relationships with Leos feel like an emotional roller coaster, where you're never quite sure what mood they'll be in next. Whether they're telling a story that's exaggerated for effect or creating a dramatic scene out of a minor issue, Leo's drama king/queen tendencies can cause friction and frustration, making it challenging for others to keep up with their constant need for heightened emotional experiences. 4. Overbearing leadership. Leos are natural-born leaders. They exude confidence and possess a strong sense of authority, which often places them in positions where they're expected to lead. However, their leadership style can sometimes become overbearing. While they're great at taking charge and making decisions, Leos have a tendency to bulldoze over others in the process. They expect those around them to follow their direction without question, which can feel stifling to individuals who prefer a more collaborative or egalitarian approach. Leos want to be the ones to call the shots, and their desire to control situations can sometimes alienate team members, co-workers, and even friends. Their constant need to lead and assert their dominance can create friction in relationships, especially when others feel their input is disregarded or overlooked. For Leos, being in control is a source of pride, but for others, it can make them feel as though they have no voice or autonomy. This overbearing leadership often leaves little room for others to shine, and while Leos may think they're simply being decisive, it can come across as bossy or condescending. Their tendency to lead without consulting others can cause resentment, making their leadership feel less like inspiration and more like domination. 5. Their need to be right. Leos have an unshakable belief in their own opinions and ideas, and this often leads to a stubborn need to be right, no matter the situation. Their confidence, while admirable, can easily morph into a refusal to admit when they're wrong. They're so certain of their perspective that they tend to disregard the opinions of others, believing that their way is the only valid one. This can be incredibly frustrating for those around them, as Leos are often unwilling to compromise or listen to differing viewpoints. Whether it's a casual conversation or a heated debate, Leos tend to dig in their heels when they believe they're right, making it difficult for others to feel heard. This relentless drive to be correct doesn't allow room for mistakes or learning from others, and it can cause conflicts in personal and professional relationships. Instead of engaging in healthy discussions or seeking a middle ground, Leos are more likely to argue their point to the bitter end, leaving others feeling dismissed or invalidated. This need to be right often overshadows the importance of collaboration and mutual respect, making it one of the key reasons why Leos can drive people crazy. 6. Excessive flattery and self-praise. Leos are often praised for their confidence, but sometimes that confidence can veer into excessive self-praise. While everyone enjoys a good compliment, Leos can take it to the next level by constantly talking about their own achievements, talents, and successes. This tendency to excessively flatter themselves can make others uncomfortable, as it often feels more like bragging than genuine self-assurance. Leos crave recognition and appreciation, but when their self-praise becomes a regular part of their personality, it can alienate those around them. Their constant need to remind people of their greatness can come off as insincere or even narcissistic, especially when they fail to acknowledge the contributions of others. This tendency to overstate their own importance often leaves little room for others to shine, and it can create a competitive or unhealthy environment. While Leos may not intend to come across this way, their excessive self-promotion can make others feel like they're being overshadowed or unappreciated. The fine line between confidence and conceit can become blurred, leaving those around them frustrated and wondering why everything seems to be about Leo all the time. 7. Compulsive need to be admired. For a Leo, admiration is a vital source of emotional sustenance. They have an intense need to be admired, praised, and adored by others, often seeking constant validation from those around them. Leos thrive when they're the center of attention, and their self-worth is heavily tied to how others perceive them. While it's natural to want recognition, Leos take this to another level. Whether it's through social media, personal relationships, or work, they constantly seek out admiration, approval, and praise. If they don't receive the attention they crave, they can become moody or withdrawn, struggling to feel valued. This compulsive need for admiration can cause friction in relationships, as others may feel pressured to continually affirm Leo's worth. It's exhausting for those around them to constantly provide this level of admiration, especially when they feel that their own needs are being ignored. For Leos, the spotlight must always be on them, and when it's not, they can become discontented, seeking out new ways to get the attention they believe they deserve. Their compulsive need for admiration often leads to an imbalance in relationships, making it difficult for them to connect on a deeper level, as their focus is always on how others perceive them rather than mutual understanding and respect. 8. Fear of being ignored or left out. Leos have a deep fear of being ignored or left out of any situation. For a sign that thrives on attention and admiration, being excluded can feel like a personal attack. This fear often leads them to go to great lengths to ensure they're always included in the spotlight, whether it's in a group setting, a family gathering, or a work meeting. They can become visibly upset when they aren't the center of attention, and this fear of exclusion can manifest in a variety of ways. Leos might act out, throw fits, or become moody if they feel they've been sidelined, even if it's unintentional. Their need to be included often drives their behavior, and when they're not, they might turn the situation into a dramatic event, demanding attention or validation from others. For those around them, this sensitivity can feel like walking on eggshells, as people are often unsure how to handle Leo's emotional outbursts when they feel ignored. This fear of being left out can also affect their personal relationships, where Leos might need constant reassurance that they're still wanted and needed. For those who don't share the same need for attention, it can be draining to deal with a Leo who cannot bear the thought of being left out of any activity or conversation. 9. They take everything personally. Leos are known for their strong sense of pride, and while this can be an admirable trait, it also means they take almost everything personally. Whether it's a harmless comment, a minor criticism, or even something completely unrelated to them, Leos tend to internalize everything and view it as a personal affront. This emotional sensitivity can make everyday interactions feel like landmines, where a simple remark can lead to an overblown reaction. Leos see themselves as the center of their world, and when something even slightly negative is directed toward them, they often feel like it's an attack on their character or their worth. This tendency to take everything personally makes them hard to approach with honesty, as they might react defensively or emotionally, even to well-intended feedback. Instead of processing criticism calmly or objectively, Leos often let their pride take over, which can lead to unnecessary conflict or hurt feelings. It's challenging for those around them to have genuine, straightforward conversations, as Leo might perceive even the most innocuous statement as a personal slight. Their inability to let things slide can create a tense atmosphere, leaving people frustrated by their constant need for reassurance and validation. 10. They can be extremely stubborn. Leos are known for their strong will and determination, which often makes them incredibly focused on achieving their goals. However, this same determination can sometimes turn into extreme stubbornness. Once a Leo has made up their mind, it's almost impossible to change it. They firmly believe in their decisions and ideas, and they rarely back down from them, even when presented with compelling reasons to do so. This unwavering attitude can be frustrating for those around them, especially when a situation calls for flexibility or compromise. Leos tend to dig in their heels when they feel strongly about something, making it difficult for others to contribute their thoughts or influence the outcome. In conversations, this stubbornness can quickly escalate into a power struggle, as Leos will not easily accept opposing viewpoints. This trait can make them difficult to work with, whether in a personal or professional setting, as others may feel their opinions are being dismissed or ignored. The more others try to persuade a Leo, the more determined they become to prove they are right, creating a cycle of tension and conflict. While their determination is often a strength, it can be frustrating for those who need flexibility or compromise in a relationship. 11. High expectations of others. Leos often hold very high expectations of those around them. Their intense drive and desire for success make them believe that others should also share the same level of passion, energy, and commitment. Whether it's in friendships, romantic relationships, or work environments, Leos expect people to meet their standards, and when they don't, it can lead to disappointment. Leos can be particularly critical when others don't live up to their expectations, as they feel that everyone should be as motivated and ambitious as they are. This can cause frustration in relationships, especially when their expectations are unrealistic or hard for others to meet. For example, if a Leo feels their partner isn't giving enough attention or effort, they can become resentful or passive-aggressive. In the workplace, Leos may become critical of colleagues who don't share the same level of enthusiasm for their projects, leading to tension and dissatisfaction. Their high standards can sometimes make them come across as demanding or even ungrateful, as they may overlook the efforts of others in favor of what they expect to happen. While Leos often want the best for those they care about, their expectations can create pressure and make others feel inadequate or constantly falling short. In conclusion, Leos are undeniably one of the most complex and polarizing zodiac signs. Their traits, from their over-the-top confidence to their compulsive need for admiration, make them both captivating and, at times, incredibly frustrating. While their dramatic flair, strong will, and unwavering leadership can inspire admiration and respect, they can also alienate those around them who may not share the same need for constant validation or attention. Their high expectations of others, fear of being left out, and tendency to take everything personally can lead to tension and conflict in their relationships. However, no one can deny that Leos bring energy and excitement to every room they enter, and their passion and boldness make them unforgettable. Whether you love them or hate them, you can't ignore them. Leos are never boring. They live life with intensity, they shine bright, and they expect others to keep up. If you find yourself constantly in awe of their charisma, or if you're struggling to keep up with their need for attention, one thing is certain: Leos leave a lasting impression. So, if you've ever encountered a Leo in your life, or if you are one yourself, you know that while they can be a challenge, they're also a force to be reckoned with. Their larger-than-life personality makes them unforgettable, and whether you're their biggest fan or their harshest critic, you can't deny that Leos will always keep you on your toes.